Good morning,
Live.
y'all. It's almost good afternoon. I am glad to be back. I had already planned to take the week of Thanksgiving as a ministry break, which I don't normally do. But when I when I became sick before that week, I just took a little bit longer. So I am back though, and happy to be back. Thank you for all of you who said you missed the live messages and everything. So during that time, here is something I thought of, and this is something so specific. Distractions. We can get distracted about prayer. Now, I'm not talking about, oh, you go to pray and you remember that you forgot to pay a bill, or you remember that you left the roast in the freezer and you need to set it out to thaw. I'm not talking about those type of distractions. I think I have seen some things going on that could distract us in prayer in another way. And so let me explain that by saying this. When Iva and I are out walking and she gets distracted, let's say she, smells a pole or a clump of grass where a dog has left his smell, sometimes she'll run over to sniff that when we're walking and I'll have to correct her. She has seen people, she knows this has only happened a couple times, and bump me into something because she's trying to get to them. So distraction can lead to not always destruction, but it can lead to danger. Distracting a guide dog can be very dangerous. But I also want to look at some things in the Bible. Take Samson, for example. He was distracted by women, and mostly by Delilah. Well, that ended up in the destruction of himself because it was because of his distraction that he told her the secret of his strength was in his hair, and she cut off his hair, and the Philistines captured him and everything. Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane asked Peter, James, and John to pray with him. But what distracted them? Sleep, fatigue, physical fatigue. And they could not stay awake. Now, I won't say that led to destruction. That was already planned. That was already part of God's plan, that Jesus was going to go to the cross. But I think it was very disappointing to know that this was the one time Jesus needed them to pray with him, and they slept. So, as the second week of November, was very focused on praying for our nation, and that was when I got sick. And when you get sick, of course, your prayer life changes because you want to start praying for your health. Many people I know and love are sick. This is a small community, and COVID is just ravishing through this community right now. So it changes your prayer life. But this is something that occurred to me. What if my illness was the enemy's tactic as a distraction to keep me from praying for the nation as energetically and as much as I had? And it did, And when I thought about that, I thought, oh my goodness, I need to make sure that even though that is not close as, to me, I guess when you're sick, or just like the disciples being tired, your physical feeling, what you're feeling physically is going to probably rank up higher on your prayer list. I want us as prayer warriors to always be on the lookout that, yes, Satan could send a major thing into your life just to derail your prayer life. That is possible. We see what distraction can do. So let's be very assertive, very aggressive about how we pray, what we're praying for. And when something new comes along, it doesn't bump something else off the prayer list. It just adds to your prayer list, because I could see the enemy doing that with distraction. A physical ailment is going to distract you more than anything. Why do you think that was the last thing that God held out on with Job? At first he had told Satan, you can't attack anything on his body. And then Satan finally came back and said, oh, come on, let me attack his body. So just consider these things and think about them as you are. Oops, I hope I didn't have that thing not facing the right way. As you are going through life. I will be back on tomorrow with a long message about when something is just too powerful for us, when we are feeling overpowered. And I thank you, and I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow night at 7.
Finish button.